So, okay, what would you say for the future bakers or young professionals joining the industry? Or bakers that looking for inspiration? Any advice to work in the kitchen?
Guys, is this or go to work?
So if you don't have that, don't do this.
The most important thing is
So, to be a good baker,
If I would have to give an advice for anyone who is starting in the business,
From time to time, I receive private messages or messages in the comments section asking questions and advice about the kitchen life, especially those who are interested in joining this industry. Well, I prepared some things to say. However, I was interested to see what my fellow bakers, my peers around the world, have to say.
Hey guys, best advice for all new chef: be ready to sacrifice many hours of sleep.
Very strong job, I know. You must wake up very early in the morning, but it's full of sacrifice. To the guys, I always say the same. Guys, is this or go to work? To the office. Is this or go to work? So enjoy it. You must be a fan of this. You must be a fanatic. Okay? For me, it's like this.
I think I would just say things in general, not related to baking directly. I think the most important thing is don't seek comfort. Kind of find pride in hardship. It's gonna make you grow a lot. Take care of yourself. Prioritize your health. Don't take bullshit from anyone. Be nice to people. Don't burn bridges. And be selfish to a certain extent. And it's very important that if you are being selfish, just don't hurt people on the way. It's really prioritizing yourself, do what you are supposed to do, and then just be the person you want to be as a professional and as a person as well.
Para mí yo creo que lo más importante es no parar, es comprender cómo funciona la temperatura, cómo funcionan las harinas. Hay harinas que toman más agua, menos agua, hay que seguir hasta metricé, hasta tener calculado todos los factores, que son la temperatura, el agua. Una vez que uno conoce la masa, después es más fácil. Pero al principio hay que equivocarse y hay que equivocarse. Esa es lo que creo.
So to be a good baker, I think that it's like the feeling of the bread, because to do bread it's not like pastry. You have to follow a recipe exactly and it's gonna work. Bakery, it's like you have to feel all the conditions around you to make good bread, like the temperature, the humidity, the levain, the sourdough, different every day. So you have to have a good feeling with the bread.
I think most of the businesses which have real soul and integrity are because the people who work behind for the mission of hospitality and cooking good food. We have something in common, which is that when we wake up, the first thing we think is our mission, which is giving someone a good experience when they come to eat. And that's the same thing we think when we go to sleep. So if you don't have that, don't do this.
Every chef was spot on. So basically, it's better if you have passion for food and patience to grow. And the good news is that practice, and you will get there. No one is born with perfect lamination skills or knowing everything about cakes or bread. So given I have this moment to share some of my thoughts and some observation in the kitchen, I want to focus on big things, but also not to disregard the small things. I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but if you finished your mise en place list, why don't you just give a hand for your colleague? You both will finish earlier. You probably think, Christina, but it's obvious. Believe me, sometimes it's not obvious. I think it's very important to know and feel that you have support from your team. You don't need a colleague to have a laugh. You need a colleague to feel your support, and you know that you are on the same goal in the kitchen. Very, very important and actually crucial aspect is looking after your health. Rude reality is that we work in the industry that we can be replaced the next day. So it's very important that you look after yourself, after your body, because your body is kind of the main tool in this industry. your hands, your legs, your back get a lot of tension during the day. So don't skip massages. Yeah, I know it's extra money and things like that, but you rather invest time, like once a month a massage, than, you know, having operations or pills later in 10 years or so. Daily care is extremely important. When you get home, just don't skip the 5-10 minute stretch. It just lifts your body, it relaxes a lot, and then you can continue, go chill and relax. There are things that you may try to save money, and there are things that you should not save money. I know it can be painful in one go. Just pay once, forget about it, and move on. Your feet will thank you. I don't want you to stick to the specific brand. I'm sure you have your own preferences, but what I'm saying that we are on our feet for 8-9 hours straight in the kitchen. But what if we save a few cups of coffee during the week or a month, and we save this money for your shoes? Believe me, that is the best investment you can do in the kitchen. Stick to the person who is strongest in the kitchen, because he or she will influence your workflow. I was lucky enough to stick to a very fast, skillful, and capable to deal under high pressure chef at my pastry school. I took some of her habits that formed me how I work in the kitchen now. And I didn't realize that until now I sat down to do this video, that it actually influenced me a lot. And later during the years, I met so many amazing chefs that I adapted their perception about work, how they treat people, how they do things, like technical skills. And that's really, really important in my opinion, to stick to the good people in the kitchen, strong people in the kitchen. You just kind of want to become like a sponge and take the best from other people. Perfection doesn't exist, unfortunately. Sometimes in your head you can create the best sketch of the new dessert, of the new item, and the result sometimes is not in line with your expectations. So what I want to say is that embrace the failure. It's a path, it's a journey, it's a long way to achieve what you imagine or you want. By trying and trying, you make your skill harder and more solid, and that eventually works as a benefit. Chefs that they looks like they're doing perfectly, believe me, they invested tons of time to show this kind of little segment of endless hours of work. So don't punish yourself if you try once and it doesn't work. It takes time and practice and practice and practice. So I'm leading to another aspect in the kitchen, that don't take things personally, because they don't criticize you, they criticize your work. So try to separate your emotions from work, because whatever needs to be done, needs to be done. And don't take it too much to your heart, because in the end it's work. I know it can be hard sometimes, but take the feedback, improve it, and move on. I had lots of things to say. I have another video that's talking about my kitchen tips, so I don't want to expand too much on this video. But very, very important thing that kind of summarize everything is be passionate, be curious, and don't be afraid to experiment in the kitchen. If you stay hungry, if you always ask questions and it's always voice in your head, why, how can I do different, you will always progress in the kitchen. Imagine one day you wake up and you realize you know everything. That probably will be one of the saddest days ever. Have your unique style, express yourself the way you want. But I think it's also useful to keep an eye on the industry and the trends, what's happening. The industry is not the same as it was 10-15 years ago. We also evolve as chefs, and that's why it's our job to be on top of everything. Very final thing, what would you say and what your advice would be for the people who are interested in joining this industry or who are working in the industry? What would you have to say? Thank you so much for watching, and see you next week.